Hey everyone, I finally got in the Kaw Valley AR-10 5.6 buffer weight, okay? And we're gonna test it out today. And it's starting to get a little dark. I was busy at a different gun range today, so I'm gonna try and make this as fast as I can. So first of all, let me say this, man. This is the most beautiful, absolutely beautiful buffer weight I have ever seen. I mean, this thing looks like it belongs like in a New York novelty shop or something. Okay, that is an absolutely beautiful buffer weight. It's like I wish there was a way for this thing to be on display on the gun, right? Because obviously it's going to go inside the buffer tube, so you won't be able to see it. But this is absolutely beautiful. Now it says on it 5.6. Okay, I've already weighed it and on my scale over there, and it comes in at 5.7. So they actually give you an extra ounce. Now these, you know, the weights that they put inside it, it's not an exact science. So you might get one that's like 5.5, 5.6, 5. I got lucky. I got the 5.7 one. So this looks really pretty. So before I shoot this, what I want to do is I want to take 3 shots at my target over there with the buffer weight that's in it, because I haven't shot this gun today, and the 3 shots that I'm going to take is going to give me a better sense of the recoil, because the goal here, right, the gun works perfect with the buffer weight that came with it, because it has an adjustable gas valve on it. I did a separate video on that. So the goal of this is I'm trying to get the recoil down as low as possible without putting a muzzle brake on it. Now, when I was shooting with Tula, which Tula 308, this stuff, that was a non-issue. This the Tula 308 is probably a little less underpowered. With the Freedom Munitions, I had to work a little bit harder to keep my dot, because I'm just using a 2 MOA dot right now. I had to work a little bit harder to keep it underneath my bullseye. Okay, so I'm hoping that with this slightly heavier buffer weight, it will help me in that area. Okay? So let me do this. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire just 1 shot of this Tula, just to heat up the barrel. Okay, this way, and then I'm going to take 3 shots at 100 yards, just using the old buffer that was in it. Where did I put my ears? Hold on, let me go get my ears. Okay, so I'm taking just 1 shot with Tula 308, just to heat up the barrel. You know, when you're just like standing and shooting like that, the recoil feels like nothing. It's just that when you're trying to take a well-aimed shot, like when you're going for tight groups at distance, that's the only time that you feel the, you feel that there's a little bit of recoil there, and you got to work a little bit harder to keep it on, keep it underneath the bullseye. Now again, I shot 308, which again is a little bit softer. We're gonna shoot this Freedom Munitions now. I did a video just the other day with this Freedom Munitions. I got 1.25 inches center to center of the holes, edge to edge of the holes. I was at 1 inch with this. I'm taking 3 shots at 100 yards. This is one of the places where it becomes really useful having an adjustable stock, because like if you get like the M110 version, it has a fixed stock, and for different magnifications, it's really useful to in order to get the right eye relief. It's really useful when you got an adjustable stock. so I took 3 shots. I know I pulled those shots a little bit. I'm just gonna run out there and just quickly mark them with a circle. It's getting dark. When it gets dark, it's a little harder for me to focus on these targets when it starts getting a little bit darker. But I really wanted to get this done. I was really curious. So I got a good sense of what that recoil felt like in my shoulder. So hold on, let me pause this and let me go mark those targets, mark those circles. Okay, so that was an atrocious 3-inch group. I'm gonna take another 3 shots just with the standard buck weight, because I want to make sure I got a good sense of how this feels before I put in the Kaw Valley buffer weight. So we're taking another 3 shots just with the standard buffer weight, just so that we have a baseline to compare to. So my ejection right now is at 1 o'clock. I can see him over there. Actually, somewhere between 1 and 2 o'clock. So before I mark the circles with the holes with circles, I'm going to go mark these now with squares. Okay, those shots were like 1.5 inches, which is not the best, but you know, and like I said, right now it's all me because I'm kind of rushing through this a little bit, which in a way is good. It's kind of like a battlefield condition type of thing. All right, now. I mean, the upper on this weighs like 6.5, 6+ pounds with the optics on it, so probably almost like 7 pounds. So it's just a lot easier to work with this just by taking it completely apart. Here we go. Okay, so this is what's in there, right? It has like a whitish color, and that's the buffer weight that comes with it. I'm gonna put it on the scale. £3 pounds 9 ounces. Do it one more time. Zero it out. Nope, 3.7. Do that one more time. 3.8. We'll go with the 3.8. So 3.8, and then we're going up to, what the fuck? 5.6 now. So earlier it said 5.7. Now it says 5.6. But whatever. I mean, we're out. When I measured it before, I was indoors. So being outdoors, you know. Actually, let me talk to you guys about the spring. I did order this other spring over here. It was only $10. It is longer. I suspect that the longer one is the carbine length, or rifle length rather, rifle length, and the shorter one is carbine length, because that is a carbine tube. Now, one of the things I was doing is I was testing to see which would be tighter. So what I did is I counted back 6. So 2, 4, 6. And I'm trying to get a sense of the pressure on this versus 2, 4, 6. Yeah, that feels stiffer. So even though this is shorter, it feels stiffer. And the other way I try to do it is from the bottom here, I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So holding it in the 6th position, pushing down on the scale to go all the way to close. It seems like it's about 12 pounds. Same thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So holding it from the 6th position all the way to close. Yeah, it's coming up to like 15 pounds. So the one that's in there seems to be stronger. So I'm going to stay with the one that's in there, even though it's shorter. right? It's shorter by almost 1.5 inches. I'm gonna stay with that one. I did order one from Sprinko, the Sprinko orange one. That's supposed to be even stiffer. We're gonna, when that comes in, we'll test it out. Well, anyway, now let's get this beautiful buffer weight from Kaw Valley in there. Like I said, this thing is like absolutely beautiful, man. Look at that. I tell you, I've ordered 9mm bolts from Kaw Valley, linear comps, and now this buffer weight. And let me tell you, everything that Kaw Valley has is just beautiful, man. They have yet to disappoint me. I'm curious. I just want to look at the length of this real quick. Is it the same length? Yeah, they're about the same length. Yeah, the length is the same. So we're sticking with the original one that came with this Palmetto AR-10. Yeah, I forgot to mention that at the beginning of the video. I think that this is the Palmetto AR-10 PA-10 Gen 3. Okay, so that's in there. I'm racing the sun here. I was busy at a different gun range today training people. Alright, so trying out these ETS, not ETS, these Lancer clear mags for the 308. I don't like that they're straight because it's hard for me to tell which way is which. The Magpul ones, or the P-Mags, have a little bit of a curve in them. With this, it's hard to tell which is straight. So anyway, let's fire 3 shots and see how it feels. Initial impressions, I can't really tell a difference as far as the recoil. I'm still having the same amount of struggle to keep that dot from rising. So again, I might feel different in a couple of days, but I mean, so here's the thing: if there's a little bit of a difference, it's just a tiny little bit, okay? But shooting it, I can't tell the difference. Let me run down there, take a quick look at that group. By the way, I did install the Palmetto 2-stage trigger in here. Okay, so I'm working with the 2-stage trigger. Today's the first day I'm working with that. I did separate videos on that. Let me pause the camera, go down there, measure out those shots. Well, I did get my first sub MOA group. I don't think it had anything to do with the buffer weight, but I think it was just so the first 3 shots that I fired were the circles over here. 1, 2, and 3. I mean, there's a lot of shots on top of shots. That's why I've been marking them differently. 1, 2, 3. That was the one that came in at 3. Actually, it was like 2.5. It was 2.5 inches. So the first 3 shots were at 3.5. Then I shot the next shot. That was the squares that you see here. Oops. That's the squares. So first 3 shots were 1, 2, 3. Then the squares are 1, 2, 3. So that was like so on top of each other. It's 2, 3. No, it's actually, it was a 1-inch group actually. Yeah, the second group was which was with that was with the other. That was with the original one. Second group was with the original one. That came in at 1 inch. It was a little wider the first time. So that was 1, 2, 1 squares. 1, 2, 3. So those at 1 inch. And then the 3 shots I just took now are inside this triangle here, right? So the one, so no circle, I didn't mark that circle. Then hit there, that's a new hole, hasn't been marked. And then the edge right there. So that is 3/4 of an inch with this Palmetto Gen 3, Palmetto PA Gen 3. So I don't think that this Kaw Valley buffer weight had anything to do with that. As far as me shooting it, it felt the same. Okay, it felt the same. So the whatever ounces heavier that was make no difference. We're gonna see when I get the, and that's why I didn't want to change the springs. When I get the sprinkle one, the orange, the sprinkle orange, we'll throw that in there and we'll see if there was if there's any felt recoil change in that. Also, when I was shooting it, I could see that the ejection pattern was the same at that 1 to 2 o'clock position. I want to do one more test real quick while I got a little bit of daylight. I'm going to use Tula tends to be a little bit less powered, so I'm going to take Tula and I'm going to put one round. I haven't adjusted the gas valve or anything, so we're working with the same gas valve. I'm going to put one round in each of these 3 lancers. Do I have 3 here? Oh, one round in each of these 3 lancer mags in, and we're gonna check for lockback. I'm gonna check and see if because I have it. I did a separate video on this. This gun, it has 17 positions. It's a 3 slot valve, but it's 3 slots per turn for a total of 17 positions. So it came in the 12th position. I went down, closed it all the way, and started coming up in the 5th position. I was ejecting Tula at 4 o'clock and Freedom Munitions at 2 o'clock, and I said, that's good, I'm going to leave it there. So far, it seems like the Freedom Munitions is still ejecting in that same, 1, 2 o'clock area. I want to see if there's any issues with the Tula locking back without having adjusted the gas. Back. I'm going to hold it really loose in my shoulder. Let's see if that. Okay, so even holding it really loose in my shoulder, it's locking back in the 5th position. So that's 5 out of 17 possible positions. So this thing will, with that many available positions, this thing will, you can get this thing to cycle with the weakest possible loads. Oh, that time it didn't lock back. And again, like I said, I was holding it. I'm really not pressing it into my chest. Let's do it one more time. This time I'll hold it a little bit tighter on my chest. So in the 5th position, with Tula being the least gassed, okay, and I hadn't seen it before up until this point, so that's the only difference this 5.6 ounce buffer weight made. Okay, so when I was testing Tula and holding it in the 5th position on the gas block, holding it as softly in my shoulder as possible, right, without it just being in the air. I could not get Tula to fail, to not lock back on the last round. So with the 5.6 in that 5th position, from the bottom up, right from the close position, I did manage to get Tula to not lock back on 1 out of the 4. Okay, and like I said, I had to hold it really light. On this last one, I pulled it in just a little bit more, and it locked right back. So, and that's with Tula. If you shoot, I know if I shoot this Freedom Munitions, which is actually, let's do this. I think I have a loose one here. I want to do this. I want to completely hold this off my shoulder. Make sure this camera's still rolling, and that you guys can still see with this light level. You can see the edge of the table. Yeah. I'm going to actually hold this out in the air off my shoulder. So this is with the Freedom Munitions now. And we're going to see if this will fail to lock back. So collapse stock. It's like off my shoulder. I'm going to basically hold it up like this, right? So up here, I'll shoot it here so you guys. So I'm holding it out like this, right? Lock back. So with the Freedom Munitions in that 5th position, even holding it completely off my shoulder, the gun's still locked back. I gotta tell you guys, I really like the way that Kaw Valley buffer weight looks. It was like $45. I'm not sending it back. Does it really make a difference? I don't think so in the felt recoil, like when I was shooting. I might have a different opinion down the road. But like today, my initial thoughts with this is it didn't really make a difference when I was trying to shoot at 100 yards. Shooting at 100 yards, I still have, because my dot, right, my 2 MOA dot on this is like the size of my fist, okay? So what I'm doing is instead of putting it on it, I'm going underneath it, and it still goes boom, and it comes off it. Because ideally, what I want to see is boom, boom, like that. So again, I don't want to put a muzzle brake on this. So maybe when I get these, which is good, I got that sprinkle orange spring coming in. We'll throw it in there. At least we know we have this in isolation now. We know what the 5.7, what the 5.6 does. I mean, Kaw Valley may want to consider making a heavier one, like maybe a 7-ounce or an 8-ounce. Maybe that might make a difference for the AR-10s, but the 5.6 is really not going to make a difference. Now, as far as this beautiful, I mean, it's hard to see because they're on top of each other. Basically, it's the triangle one here. The triangle one right there. That. Keep in mind, I'm just using this 2 MOA dot, which is this big relative to that. You know, you're trying to center that up. At some point, I'm going to put a distance scope on that, which is going to have like a much finer aiming point, like a chevron, or I think it's going to have a chevron. That's going to give me a much finer aiming point. I think we're going to be rocking like sub MOA groups all day with it, right? Once I get the red dot off of this, because right now this is the battle rifle configuration, right? The red dot with the magnifier. Once I put the 5 to 25 on this, then that's going to be the sniper rifle configuration of the AR-10. I gotta tell you guys, I'm having an absolute blast with this gun, man, because the AR-10 platform is new for me. Very happy with this Palmetto purchase. I've been watching lots of other videos that people have done on different AR-10s that they've purchased. What I think is really making this AR-10 shine is this 3-position gas system, because like I was looking at the Ruger S-FAR, I really like that. That's a very lightweight AR-10. It's like just a little bit heavier than your standard AR-15, but a lot of people have been reporting problems with cycling and the gas system. Palmetto has knocked the ball out of the park with this with their gas valve, and that's I think that's always been the problem with AR-10s, getting them to cycle reliably, right? So far, it's like this Palmetto is a bomb, man. So thanks for watching. Drop some comments. Oh, I'm going to put a playlist underneath to my AR-10. I created an AR-10 playlist. I know a lot of people do like a 30-minute review. I've got so much shit to say on this gun that I don't even think I can cover it in a single review. At some point in the future, maybe 6 months down the road, I will do like a general review. But I don't think that anybody could really do this gun justice with one review. That's why I created a whole playlist, which gives you guys a chance to see the progression, like my initial impressions, like from the first shots fired, and as I'm doing different things with the gun, running different drills, and you guys can get a better sense of how I really feel about this gun and how this gun performs. Okay, so check out that playlist below. I'll link it in the description and the comments, and I'll talk to you all soon.